Hello and welcome to the National Westminster Hall in the City of London. We're in the banking hall designed by the architect John Gibson in 1865 to accommodate the expanding business of the National Provincial Bank of England. Now owned by the National Westminster Bank, the hall has been lavishly refurbished in splendid Victorian style. It's now used only for special occasions, and tonight's special occasion is Mastermind. So the black chair awaits 4 more contenders for the 1995 title, who are all from the south of England. And their chosen specialised subjects are the former Beatle John Lennon, Magna, Graecia, the Greeks in southern Italy, Shakespeare's plays to 1606, and King George V. So may I have our first contender, please? Your name, please?
Roger Adams.
Occupation?
School teacher.
And your chosen specialised subject?
John Lennon.
Roger Adams, you have 2 minutes on John Lennon starting now. What was the name of Lennon's first skiffle group which he formed at school?
The Quarrymen.
Correct. Lennon and McCartney first met at a garden fete at which parish church?
St Peter's.
Correct. Whose flat in Gambier Terrace, which Lennon shared from 1959, was featured in a newspaper article about the beatnik horror?
Stu Sutcliffe.
Correct. In 1963, at which event did Lennon invite the rich part of the audience to rattle their jewellery?
The Royal Variety Performance.
Correct. Who wrote the introduction to Lennon's first book, In His Own Right?
Paul McCartney.
Correct. Lennon's controversial comment, "We're more popular than Jesus now," was first published in an article by which journalist?
Maureen Cleave.
Correct. Who introduced Lennon to Yoko Ono at the Indica Gallery in London?
John Dunbar.
Correct. What was the name of the character Lennon played in the film How I Won the War?
Gripweed.
Correct. In which song on the White Album did Lennon sing The Walrus Was Paul?
Glass Onion.
Correct. The song Sexy Sadie expressed Lennon's disillusionment with whom?
Maharishi.
Correct. Which actor co-wrote and directed the 1968 National Theatre production of In His Own Right, an adaptation of Lennon's books?
Victor Spinetti.
Correct. For which Kenneth Tynan production, which opened in 1969, did Lennon contribute a sketch?
Oh, Calcutta.
Correct. On Lennon's album Mind Games, which track consists of 3 seconds of silence?
The Utopian National Anthem.
International anthem, I'll accept that. At Elton John's Thanksgiving concert in 1974, which song did Lennon introduce as written by an old, estranged fiancé of mine called Paul?
I saw her standing there.
Correct. On which song from Lennon's Walls and Bridges album did his son Julian play the drums?
Ya Ya.
Correct. For which American broadcasting company did Lennon give his last interview on the day of his death?
CBS.
No, RKO. Which Lennon album, released just before his death, reputedly derived its title from the name of a flower?
Double Fantasy.
Correct. In which park is there an area known as Strawberry Fields, opened in Lennon's honour in 1985?
Central Park.
Correct. What name did Lennon give to his exercise book of nonsense poems and caricatures which he compiled at Quarrybank School?
Daily Howl.
Correct. What was the name of Lennon's lawyer who helped him get his green card in 1976?
Leon Wildes.
Leon Wildes is right. And at the end of that round, Roger Adams, you have scored 19 points and no passes. Thank you very much. And our second contender, please. Your name, please?
Eric Kilby.
Occupation?
Statistics Services Manager.
And your chosen specialised subject?
Magna Graecia.
Eric Kilby, you have 2 minutes on Magna Graecia, starting now. What Greek name did the Euboeans give their settlement founded on Ischia in the 8th century BC?
Pithecusae.
Correct. What name from its inscription was given to the 8th century Rhodes drinking vessel found at Pithecusae?
The Cup of Nestor.
Correct. According to tradition, which city pioneered steam baths and trained cavalry horses to dance to music?
Sybaris.
Correct. Sybaris is thought to have been destroyed when nearby Croton diverted which river?
The Cratis.
Correct. Around 443 BC, which colony was founded on or near the site of Sybaris?
Thurii.
Correct. Which noted philosopher and mathematician settled in Croton around 530 BC?
Pythagoras.
Correct. Which Croton athlete reputedly won 6 successive Olympic victories and fought in the defeat of Sybaris?
Milo.
Correct. Which Greek colony founded in Corsica around 565 BC was given up some 30 years later?
Cunoi.
No, Eulalia. Who drew up the strict law code which governed affairs in Locri?
Seleucus.
Correct. Which Locrian colony was the site of the present Rosarno?
Hipponium.
No, it was Medma. Which deities reputedly assisted the Locrians in their unexpected defeat of Croton at the Sagra River?
Zeus.
No, the Dioscuri. The 3 major temples standing at Paestum are known as the Basilica, the Temple of Neptune, and which other?
Hera.
No, series. Which tomb, excavated at Paestum in 1968, has rare classical Greek frescoes and is named after the figure on its lid?
Odysseus.
No, the tomb of the diver. The 5th century sculptor Pythagoras left Samos to become a resident of which colony?
Did you say Pythagoras? Sorry, can you repeat
Stop
that?
the watch. I'll repeat that. The 5th century sculptor Pythagoras left Samos to become a resident of which colony? Start the watch.
Elia.
It's Rhegion. Which 5th century tyrant of Rhegion celebrated his Olympics triumph on his coinage?
Anaxilas.
Correct. Which city gave his name to the school of philosophy associated with Parmenides and Zeno?
Elia.
Correct. Which legendary founder of Cremissa placed the bow and arrows of Heracles in the temple of Apollo Elios?
Thapsus.
No, Philoctetus. What ancient place name of the present Egnazio was given to, I've started, so I'll finish. What ancient place name of the present Egnazio was given to the curious style of Apulian pottery characterized by colored designs on black? Have a go.
3.
No, it was Nathian. And at the end of that round, Eric Kilby, you had scored 10 points and no passes. Thank you very much. And our third contender, please. Your name, please.
Liz Chase,
Occupation.
musician and teacher.
And your chosen specialised subject.
Shakespeare's plays to 1606.
Liz Chase, you have 2 minutes on Shakespeare's plays to 1606, starting. Now, in Hamlet, whose soliloquy ends, "Oh, woe is me to have seen what I have seen, see what I see"?
Ophelia.
Correct. In which play does the prologue sum up the action as the 2 hours traffic of our stage?
Romeo and Juliet.
Correct. Whose dying words include the line, "Why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life and thou no breath at all"?
Lear.
Correct. In Love's Labour's Lost, whose gift of a picture set in jewels is dismissed by its recipient as a fairing?
Baroon.
No, it's Ferdinand. What is the profession of a gold goose of Winchester, as mentioned in Troilus and Cressida?
Pass.
In Twelfth Night, who claims his love can give no place, bide no denay?
Orsino.
Correct. Before which battle does a king declare, "How bloodily the sun begins to peer above yon busky hill"?
Pass.
In the incantation which opens Act 4 of Macbeth, the first witch says, "Thrice a brinded cat hath mewed." According to the second witch, what has whined?
The hedge pig.
Correct. From which New Testament text does Hamlet derive the expression, "There is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow"?
Matthew.
Correct. In Othello, who is said to be rash and very sudden in colour?
Cassio.
Correct. In The Merchant of Venice, Antonio enters a bond with Shylock in return for how many ducats?
3,000.
Correct. Who says of Falconbridge, "I think he bought his doublet in Italy, his round hose in France, his bonnet in Germany, and his behaviour everywhere"?
Portia.
Correct. In Act 4 of Much Ado About Nothing, when Benedict asks Beatrice, "Come, bid me do anything for thee," what is her reply?
Kill Claudia.
Correct. Which play ends, "So bring us to our palace, where we'll show what's yet behind, that's meet you all should know"?
Macbeth.
No, it's Measure for Measure. In The Two Gentlemen of Verona, who is Valentine's rival for Sylvia and is favoured by her father for his wealth?
Proteus.
No, Thurio. According to the gardener, which king hath now himself met with the fall of leaf? And you may answer.
Richard II.
Richard II is right. At the end of that round, Liz Chase, you have scored 11 points with 2 passes. The profession of a gold goose of Winchester was actually prostitution. And the battle before which the king declares, "How bloodily the sun begins to peer above yon busky hill," was Shrewsbury from Henry IV, Part 1. Liz Chase, thank you very much. And our fourth contender, please. Your name, please.
Robert Jones,
Occupation.
civil servant.
And your chosen specialised subject.
King George V.
Robert Jones, you have 2 minutes on King George V, starting now. By which tutor was George privately educated from the age of 6?
Dalton.
Correct. After passing out as a naval cadet in 1879, in which ship did George travel around the world?
Bacchante.
Correct. In which royal residence did George marry Princess Mary of Teck?
St James's Palace.
Correct. In May 1901, George opened the first Commonwealth Parliament of which newly constituted state within the Empire?
Australia.
Correct. In November 1901, Edward VII conferred on Prince George the royal titles of Prince of Wales and which other title?
Earl of Chester.
Correct. Who was the newly appointed Viceroy of India when George and Mary made a visit there in 1905?
Hardinge.
No, Lord Minto. Which measure of the Liberal government in November 1909 precipitated the constitutional crisis which confronted George V when he ascended the throne?
The budget.
Correct. In 1911, in a libel trial which cleared the king's name, whom was George alleged to have married secretly in Malta?
Mary Combe Seymour.
Correct. Of whom did Queen Mary write in 1913, "The horrid little woman was injured but not seriously"?
Emily Davidson.
Correct. What was the name of the British royal house before George adopted the name Windsor in 1917?
Saxe-Coburg-Gotha.
Correct. In which warship did George's son, Prince Albert, serve at the Battle of Jutland?
Collingwood.
Correct. Where in the Netherlands did George's cousin Wilhelm II settle after abdicating as Kaiser?
Dawn.
Correct. Which international event was opened by the King on St George's Day 1924?
The Empire Exhibition.
Yes. Of which document did George write in October 1924, "It has certainly put the PM and his party in a hole"?
The Zinoviev letter.
Correct. Who succeeded Lord Stamfordham as George's private secretary?
Wigram.
Correct. From which royal residence did George make his first Christmas broadcast to the nation?
Windsor.
No, Sandringham. During the Silver Jubilee celebrations, which church did George and Mary attend for the Thanksgiving service on May the 6th?
St Paul's Cathedral.
Correct. Shortly before his own death, the king was grief-stricken by the loss of which relative?
His sister, Princess Victoria.
Correct. Whom did Prince Henry, George's third son, marry in 1935?
Alice Montague Douglas Scott.
Correct. What was the name of George and Mary's last child? I've started, so I'll finish. What was the name of George and Mary's last child who was born an invalid in 1905?
Prince John.
Prince John is correct. At the end of that round, Robert Jones, you have scored 18 points and no passes. Thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of the first round, the specialised subjects round, a round of mixed fortunes. Let us glance at the scores. And in fourth place on 10 points is Eric Kilby. In third place on 11 points is Liz Chase. In second place on 18 points is Robert Jones. But in the lead by 1 point on 19 points at this halfway stage is Roger Adams. On now with the second round, the general knowledge round. And remember, in the event of a tie, then the number of passes will be taken into consideration, and the contender with the fewer or fewest passes will be adjudged the winner. So first of all, may I have Eric Kilby again, please? He is a statistics services manager for a trades association in the paper industry. Comes from Bermondsey originally, now living in Swindon in Wiltshire. Scored 10 points on Magna, Graecia. Your general knowledge questions are starting. Now, which Irish author wrote the plays John Bull's Other Island and Androcles and the Lion?
Shaw.
Correct. According to the book of Genesis, who disobeyed the Lord's command, looked not behind thee, and was turned into a pillar of salt?
Lot's wife.
Correct. At the Wimbledon Tennis Championships in 1985, which unseeded player became the youngest ever to win the men's singles?
John McEnroe.
No, Becker. Which ancient monument in Wiltshire is sometimes called the Giant's Dance?
Stonehenge.
Correct. Which English composer wrote the concert overture Cocaine, subtitled In London Town, first performed in 1901?
Elgar.
Correct. In 48 BC, which Roman statesman and general was defeated by Julius Caesar at the Battle of Pharsalus?
Pompey.
Correct. Which poisonous gas present in car exhaust fumes can kill when it combines with hemoglobin in the blood and prevents the transport of oxygen around the body?
Pass.
Peary Land is a peninsula of which large island in the North Atlantic?
Greenland.
Correct. Which British author wrote the Ashenden spy stories based on his own experiences in intelligence during the First World War?
Chapman Pincher.
No, Somerset Maugham. What is the common name of the bird of prey Aquila chrysetus?
Sea eagle.
No, it's a golden eagle. Lady Abigail Masham, who died in 1734, exercised much influence at the court of which British monarch?
Queen Anne.
Correct. From 1860 until his death in 1877, Walter Bagehot was editor of which weekly journal still published today?
London Gazette.
No, The Economist. In a military uniform, what item of dress is a shako?
A hat.
Correct. In 1878, the artist James McNeill Whistler was awarded 1 farthing damages in a libel suit against which critic?
Ruskin.
Correct. In computing, what do the letters CPU stand for?
Central Processing Unit.
Correct. On which ridge in Sussex did William the Conqueror build Battle Abbey to commemorate his victory at the Battle of Hastings?
Senlac.
Correct. Last year, Ian Hargreaves succeeded Andreas Whittam-Smith as editor of which national daily newspaper?
Independent.
Correct. Which Italian term is used to describe a language used as a common tongue? I've started to finish. Which Italian term is used to describe a language used as a common tongue among people with different native languages?
Generic.
No, lingua franca. And at the end of that round, Eric Kilby, your score has gone up to 22 points with 1 pass. The poisonous gas in car exhaust fumes, which can kill you, is carbon monoxide. Eric Kilby, thank you very much. And now Liz Chase again, please. She's a musician and teacher. She does private tutoring, especially as a coach and repetiteur for musicals. She comes from Willesden Green in London, now living in Lancaster Gate, scored 11 points on Shakespeare's plays to 1606. Your general knowledge questions are starting now. In which of the Bronte novels does the final chapter begin, "Reader, I married him"?
Jane Eyre.
Correct. Blois, Langeais, and Saumur are 3 of the many chateaux in the valley of which French river?
Loire.
Correct. Which Rodgers and Hammerstein musical was based on Margaret Landon's novel Anna and the King of Siam?
King and I.
Correct. In the 12th century, the French theologian and philosopher Peter Abelard had a tragic love affair with whom?
Eloise.
Correct. Which stage academy, founded by Herbert Beerbohm Tree in 1904, is based in London's Gower Street?
Rada.
Correct. Who wrote the song to Celia, which begins "Drink to me only with thine eyes"?
Ben Jonson.
Correct. What name is given to the oil said to bring cosmetic and medical benefits derived from the yellow flower plant Enothera biennis?
Frankincense.
No, it's evening primrose oil. The rich chocolate cake Sachertorte was originally made in which European capital city?
Vienna.
Correct. Around 1435, which artist of the Flemish school painted the deposition from the cross which now hangs in the Prado in Madrid?
Van Eyck.
No, van der Weyden. In Greek mythology, which goddess born out of chaos was a personification of the earth?
Gaia.
Correct. In astronomy, what name is given to the point in the celestial sphere vertically above the observer, which is diametrically opposite to the nadir?
Zenith.
Correct. The Shulamite is a beloved or beautiful bride in which book of the Old Testament?
Proverbs.
No, the Song of Solomon. Which elite store in London's Piccadilly has above the entrance an animated clock with figures of the 2 founders who turn and bow to each other on the hour?
Fortnum and Mason.
Correct. What is meant by the musical term rallentando?
Slowing down.
Correct. In 1762, which king began the tradition of surrendering for life the hereditary revenues of the Crown lands in return for an annual payment or civil list?
George II.
No, it's the 3rd. The island of Manhattan is bounded by 3 rivers. One is a Harlem. Name one of the other 2.
The Hudson.
Correct. Alf White, who died last February, wrote many popular books based on his experiences as a country vet. Under what pseudonym?
Harriet.
James Herriot is correct. At the end of that round, Liz Chase, your score has gone up to 24 points with no further passes. Thank you very much. Now Robert Jones again, please. He is a civil servant with the Employment Service. Originally from Westham in London, now lives in Romford in Essex, scored 18 points on King George V to be lying in 2nd place at the halfway stage. Your general knowledge questions are starting. Now, what's the name of the Dublin barrow girl who features in the song Cockles and Mussels?
Molly Malone.
Correct. Which term derived from Greek describes an irresistible impulse to steal?
Kleptomania.
Correct. On maps of the London Underground, which line is usually shown in red?
Central line.
Correct. The Great Pyramid at Giza was built by which Egyptian ruler of the 4th dynasty?
Cheops or Khufu.
Correct. In literature, Augustus Snodgrass, Tracy Tupman, and Nathaniel Winkle are members of which club?
Pickwick.
Correct. In playing a stringed instrument, which term describes the action of pressing a string to shorten its vibrating length, thereby raising the pitch?
Vibrato.
No, it's stopping or fingering. In 1983, who was appointed Director General of the National Trust?
Pass.
When William IV died in 1837, his niece Victoria succeeded him on the British throne. Who succeeded him as King of Hanover?
The Duke of Cumberland.
Is right. In older dioceses of the Church of England, what is the title of the dignitary who presides over the cathedral chapter?
The Dean.
Correct. In ornamental metalwork, which Italian term describes a technique by which engraved designs on silver or gold are filled with black alloy?
Grisel.
No, niello. Erythrocytes are cells in the human body more commonly known by what name?
Blood cells. Corpuscles.
The red blood corpuscles is right. Which term derived from the name of a Greek philosopher describes a person who cultivates a refined taste for the pleasures of the table?
Epicure.
Correct. In which city in northern Italy, renowned for its Byzantine mosaics, is the tomb of the poet Dante?
Ravenna.
Correct. Last September, Robert McLennan became president of which political party?
The Scottish Nationals.
No, the Liberal Democrats. According to Aeschylus, who was murdered by his wife Clytemnestra and her lover Aegisthus on his return from the Trojan War?
Agamemnon.
Correct. In 1945, which country was divided into zones of military occupation along the 38th parallel?
Korea.
Correct. What is the name of the imaginary figure, the personification of an Englishman who was popularized by Dr. John Arbuthnot in 1712?
John Bull.
John Bull is right. At the end of that round, Robert Jones, your score has gone up to 31 points with one pass. The Director General of the National Trust, appointed in 1983, is Sir Angus Stirling. Robert Jones, thank you very much. And finally, Roger Adams again, please. He's a school teacher. He teaches history and is head of lower school at Townsend Church of England School in St Albans. Originally comes from Woking, now living in Watford in Hertfordshire. Scored 19 points on John Lennon to be in the lead at the halfway stage. The target you have to aim at is 31. Your general knowledge questions are starting. Now, the Great Irish Famine, which began 150 years ago, was caused by the failure of which crop?
Potatoes.
Correct. Which Hertfordshire town is named after the saint who was reputedly the first Christian martyr in England?
St Albans.
Correct. Which English author wrote The Bad Child's Book of Beasts, published in 1896?
Oscar Wilde.
No, Belloc. In 17th century British history, who was nicknamed Queen Dick and Tumbledown Dick?
Richard Cromwell.
Correct. The climbing plant Lonicera periclymenum is known as woodbine, or by what other common name?
Pass.
Which Scottish author wrote the lines, "Breathes there a man with soul so dead, who never to himself hath said, this is my own, my native land"?
Robert Burns.
No, it's Walter Scott. Which South African lawyer, who died in 1993, led the ANC from exile during Mandela's long imprisonment?
Oliver Tambo.
Correct. The celebrated Bradshaw's Guides, published from 1839 to 1961, contained what information?
Railways.
Correct. Rudolph I, who was elected German king and Holy Roman Emperor in 1273, was the first monarch of which great European dynasty?
Habsburg.
Right. Which Latin term, meaning to be in full possession of one's mental powers, is used to describe someone who is of sound mind?
Compos mentis.
Correct. Which 18th century English artist is particularly remembered for his many portraits of Emma Hart, later Lady Emma Hamilton?
Pass.
Which Athenian philosopher is a principal figure in the early dialogues of Plato?
Socrates.
Correct. In 1979, who succeeded Harry West as leader of the official Ulster Unionist Party?
James Molyneux.
Correct. In medicine, an otoscope or oroscope is an instrument used to examine which part of the body?
The mouth.
No, the ear. In which Normandy town was William the Conqueror buried in 1087?
Aya.
No, Caen. The Spanish musician Andres Segovia won international renown as a virtuoso of which instrument?
Guitar.
Correct. In the Indian city of Varanasi or Benares, the sacred Ghats lie along the banks of which great river?
Ganges.
Is right. In 1887, I've started so I'll finish. In 1887, which British historian wrote, "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely"?
Lord Acton.
Lord Acton is right. At the end of that round, Roger Adams, you two have scored 31 points with 2 passes. The climbing plant, Lonicera periclymenum, is known as woodbine, but is better known as the honeysuckle. And the English artist who painted so many portraits of Lady Emma Hamilton was George Romney. Roger Adams, thank you very much. So that brings us to the end of a cliff-hanging second round, the general knowledge round. Let us look at the scores. And in 4th place on 22 points is Eric Kilby. In 3rd place on 24 points is Liz Chase, but there is a tie at the top on 31 points between Roger Adams and Robert Jones. Now, as I mentioned, according to the rules of Mastermind, in the event of a tie, then the number of passes shall be taken into consideration. And I can tell you that Roger Adams had 2 passes and Robert Jones had 1 pass. And so the winner, I declare, of this heat of Mastermind is the civil servant from Romford, Robert Jones. So our congratulations to Robert Jones for becoming our 11th semi-finalist. Our commiserations to the other contenders, particularly, of course, to Roger Adams, pipped at the post there. Well, that brings us to the end of this heat of Mastermind. Next time we shall be back here at the National Westminster Hall in the City of London for the last of our first round heats. Until then, from Mastermind in the City of London, it's goodbye.